Hello everyone, welcome. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to another lesson in our ongoing French course. This lesson is a repost of a previous lesson. The incorrect version was posted, so I've reposted it. So in this lesson, we're going to look at the verb boire. Boire is a very important verb in French. It means to drink, and it's very important because it is an irregular verb, and we'll talk about that in just a second. First, just a little bit about the history of the word boire, which means to drink. It's actually from the Latin bibere, which means to drink. Ultimately, the Latin word came from ancient Greek, which is pinein, meaning to drink. So some related words that you might recognize are Spanish beber, Italian bere, and of course the English word beverage, something that you drink. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the verb boire. Remember, it's an irregular verb. What does it mean? If it's an irregular verb, it means you just have to memorize the forms. There's really no way around it. Remember always that native speakers just memorize through practice, so you can do the same. We'll have some practice in this video. So let's go ahead and take a look at the forms. First, just a reminder, other irregular verbs that we've had in this course are the verb être, avoir, aller, and battre. And for all of these verbs, you just had to learn the forms. You just have to memorize them. So again, boire is irregular. So here's the first form. If you want to say I drink, I do drink, or I am drinking in the present tense, the form is bois, je bois, B-O-I-S, bois. For irregular verbs, I like to spell out the forms. It I think is an aid to help you remember the form. So, je bois, B-O-I-S. Tu, same exact form, tu bois, you drink, B-O-I-S. Tu bois. Il, elle, or on, it's pronounced the same, bois, but the spelling is a little different. Instead of an S, it is spelled with a T. So he drinks, he does drink, he is drinking, il boit. She drinks, she does drink, she is drinking, elle boit. One drinks, on boit. And of course the spelling, B-O-I-T, boit. Nous, we drink, we do drink, we are drinking. Nous buvons, buvons. B-U-V-O-N-S. Buvons. We drink, we do drink, we are drinking. Vous buvez. B-U-V-E-Z. Buvez. You drink, you do drink, you are drinking. And finally, they drink. Ils, elles boivent. B-O-I-B-E-N-T. Boivent. Okay, so be sure to memorize those forms. Now let's go ahead and do a little bit of practice. Remember, no matter what course, what program, what app, whatever method you're using to learn French or any other language for that matter, there's one thing that remains constant. You have to practice. The only way to improve your ability, your skill, is to practice. As a matter of fact, the definition of skill is the ability to do something that you have gained through practice. So let's practice. All that to say, let's practice. Okay, so let's start with something very simple. We'll just start with the different forms. I drink, je, I, and then drink, bois. Je bois, I drink. You drink, this would be the informal you. Tu bois, you drink, tu bois. He drinks, il for he, and then remember the spelling is a little different here. Il boit, B-O-I-T, il boit. He drinks, remember this also means he does drink or he is drinking, just depending on the context. She drinks, elle boit, elle boit, B-O-I-T, elle boit. She drinks, she does drink, she is drinking. One drinks, On boit. On boit. B-O-I-T. On boit. We drink. So we, of course, is nous. And then the form buvons. Buvons. Nous buvons. We drink. We do drink. We are drinking. Nous buvons. B-U-V-O-N-S. Buvons. You drink. This would be vous, the formal you or the plural you. Vous buvez. Vous buvez. B-U-V-E-Z. Buvez. Finally, they drink. Ils boivent. Ils boivent. B-O-I-V-E-N-T. Boivent. Ils boivent. And remember, this can also be elles boivent. Elles boivent. Okay, so let's try adding a little more information, make some complete thoughts, complete sentences here. So how would you say I drink water in French? I drink water. So we start off with our je. I drink, je bois, and then water would be de l'eau, de l'eau. Remember that you have to use the partitive article in French. If you're a little confused about the partitive article, I do have a video on the partitive, what it is and how to use it. That's lesson 157, so you can find it in this ongoing course, lesson 157 about the partitive article. So, je bois de l'eau. Remember, with the partitive, that can imply also the word some. So, je bois de l'eau can mean I drink water or I drink some water. Okay, the some is not obligatory in English, so we can leave it out and we can say I drink water. But in French, remember the partitive means some, and it's always necessary to use the partitive in French. So, je bois de l'eau, I drink water. I drink beer, I drink beer. So we have je bois, and then beer, also with the partitive, de la bière. Je bois de la bière. I drink some beer or I drink beer. Je bois de la bière. I drink wine. I drink some wine. I drink wine. So we have je bois, and then we're going to add du vin. Du vin. So again, the partitive. Remember, du is the contraction of de and le. So du vin. Je bois du vin. And we'll just polish it up here with our period and, of course, capitalization. So I drink wine, je bois du vin. He drinks. He drinks. Il boit. Il boit. He drinks. He drinks coffee. Il boit du café. Il boit du café. Again, with the partitive, il boit du café. He drinks coffee or he drinks some coffee. Il boit du café. You drink. Vous. Vous buvez. Vous buvez. You drink. You drink beer. Vous buvez de la bière. Vous buvez de la bière. How about cold beer? Vous buvez de la bière froide. Vous buvez de la bière froide. You drink cold beer. Of course, we'll polish it up there with capitalization, periods, all that. Vous buvez de la bière froide. Can we make this a question? Do you drink cold beer? Remember, one simple way to make a question is to take the statement and just put a question mark on it. The only thing that you have to do is adjust your intonation in French. It should rise towards the end. So, do you drink cold beer? Vous buvez de la bière froide? Vous buvez de la bière froide? Rising intonation, and there you have the question. Okay, do you drink cold beer? Okay, well, that's it for this lesson. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this helpful, I would appreciate it very much if you'd give it a like. To continue and go on to another lesson, click on the video that appears here on your screen. See you soon. À bientôt.